Good evening, folks. This is Ron Tyler with the Emergency Management Associates coming to you live from the Crossroads of the West in Salt Lake City, Utah. The time right now is 6:02 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time on Monday, April 20th, 2020. We want to thank everybody that is joining us here on the Emergency Management Associates program, whether you are joining us now, join us later during the program, or you watch the program at a later date or time. We are glad that you are here joining us. We have the chat room up. Sometimes YouTube doesn't let us do that. We have the chat room up. Well, we want to welcome TLO, Lisa, Leah, Lisa again. No, we know you guys are here. We appreciate you all being here. Lisa K is here with us. Pamela's here. We want to welcome everybody here. Good evening. As we had promised, we're going to be talking about seismic activities tonight. We have information about last night's yesterday afternoon's earthquake in Japan. There was a magnitude 6.1 earthquake that jolted Honshu. This earthquake occurred just right next to shore. And the information we have for you is this. It registered a 4 on the Japanese intensity scale, which is one of the highest. It struck off the Miyagi Prefecture over in northern Japan, northern Honshu, not Hokkaido, but south of there in Honshu. The quake occurred just after 5:30 a.m. Japanese time at a depth of 50 kilometers, approximately 30 miles deep. The USGS said that the depth of the earthquake was 26 miles. So just over what I thought, 26 miles beneath the Pacific seabed, rating the risk of casualties and damage as low. Japan sits on the western side of the Pacific Ring of Fire, and they are in an arc of intense seismic activity that stretches throughout Southeast Asia and across the southern Pacific Basin. In 2011, a devastating 9.0 magnitude earthquake struck roughly 130 kilometers east of Miyagi, unleashing an enormous tsunami triggering, I can't believe I said trickling, triggering the triple meltdown of the Fukushima #1 nuclear power plant, and that killed nearly 16,000 people. Now, this earthquake, this 6.1, USGS had it as a 6.4, and it should have been even higher from all my research that I have been able to do today. It should have been much higher than that. But it triggered a tsunami of 4 inches above normal tide flow in Japan. So that 6.1 magnitude earthquake that hit at approximately 2 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time in the United States, which is 5:30 a.m. in Japan, came at a depth of 50 kilometers or 26 miles beneath the Pacific seabed, and it rated no casualties and damage is low. So that's what we know about it. I don't have any other information. As much as I've looked, I cannot find any information on damages from this earthquake. Again, it happened at 5:30 in the morning, Monday morning, Japanese time. So they have not told us anything. The news media isn't commenting on it. So we have no idea if there's any real damage. USGS says the low possibility of damage or injuries from this earthquake since it occurred slightly offshore. And I mean slightly. By all intents and purposes, this earthquake was right at the edge of land. It should have created a lot of damage and possibly had people injured, but we don't have any reports of any of that. So that's number one. So we've taken care of that for you today. Number two, we continue to have earthquakes all around the world, all around the world. And by that, I mean just that. We are in an intense period right now. I don't think, honestly, I don't think that we have seen a ton of intensity right now, this minute, but I think it's coming. Excuse me, I had my head cut off there. I don't see the intensity as yet hitting, but I believe it is coming. Now I'm going to pull up the USGS map here. I want to start off with this. As we have told many of you throughout the last year since we've been doing these presentations, that we use the USGS and the EMSC map to bring you the information that you need in regards to these earthquakes. We want to welcome the various cities that we also talk to about earthquakes and other events. We want to welcome all of you here. This is going to be probably an intense study tonight. So those of you that want, and those of you that need to, I would suggest taking some notes here because we're going to be literally all over the map talking about this. As you can see, we have two earthquakes, one in Europe and one up here in the Aleutian Islands that just happened, and also over in California. We'll be getting to that in just a second. Up here at Nikolsky Island, actually, it's not an island. There is, well, it is an island out here. It's just off the southern Alaska Peninsula here, okay? Okay, this is approximately 45 kilometers west-southwest of Nikolsky, Alaska. It is an island out here. It just happened. This earthquake just barely happened. This was out in the ocean. Again, it is a 4.6 moderate earthquake out here, and this will have no effect on land. There are volcanoes out here, though. There are volcanoes out here, and right now we have no active volcanoes out here. We have, what is it called? I can't even remember. It started with an S. Anyway, my mind just went blank about the name of the volcano. Shisholden volcano, that's what it is. Shisholden volcano is out this way. And we don't have any volcanic activity at Shisholden. Now, Shisholden volcano did erupt a few months ago, and it was in a constant state of eruption for over a month, and it calmed down. There had been magma that could be seen at the top of the volcano and going down some of the sides of the volcano. But right now, there's no current volcanic activity out here at Shisholden volcano. It was over, Shisholden volcano was at what they call Unalaska, Unalska, and we don't have anything current over there. We have, we do have volcanic activity over here near Atka Island here in the Aleutian Islands, but nothing over here where this earthquake hit. Over in Alaska, USGS is saying we have a 2.7 minor quake over at Anchor Point, which is on the west side of the Cook Inlet here. Up here north of there, just southwest of Anchorage, we have a 3.0 small quake near Nikiski, Alaska. And over here, closer to Anchorage, Big Lake, Alaska, we have a 2.7 minor earthquake, 14 kilometers south-southwest of Big Lake, Alaska. Now, the earthquake that is concerning us right now is up here in northern Alaska. This is over just south of Katavik. This is a 4.0 magnitude quake, approximately 45 miles south of Katavik, Alaska. This is concerning on several instances. We've already had a 3.8 magnitude aftershock from this earthquake, which tells me that this 4.0 was possibly even larger than they are saying it is. Okay. We've also had another earthquake out here. This is a 2.5 magnitude earthquake. This one happened at 11:13:47 UTC. This earthquake happened at 21:02 21:02:12 last night early this morning. Okay, so this one, the main one, happened here. Then we had an aftershock at 11:13:47, and also this earthquake at 15:13:41. So we had the main shock, this one up here up to the north, and then we had another aftershock of 3.8, which is a small quake. So this tells me, having these two aftershocks, tells me that this was a larger quake than they're telling us about. Now, this happened just a short while ago, and I've been so busy, I have not had a chance to go here and check out the veracity of this being possibly a large earthquake. Maybe we ought to take a minute and go do that. Let's go to the back seismologist study page of this 4.0 Alaska quake, south of Katavik, Alaska. This is the back study page here. We can click on magnitudes here. It shows it to be a 4.0. Look at this, folks. We have no stations reporting this earthquake. Really? No station details? Not even one? Then how come we have record of it? Again, USGS, why don't you start telling us the truth? Why don't you start giving us information? This information is out there. They're just not reporting it. If there's no station details, this earthquake never happened, and neither did the two aftershocks. This proves my point. This very much proves my point that they're hiding information, number one. Number two, that this was a larger earthquake. Now, why am I so concerned about it? I will talk to you about that in just a half a shake here. We've also had another earthquake. This is a 2.7 magnitude earthquake that is an aftershock of a 6.3 magnitude quake in the same area of Kobuk, Alaska, a little over a year ago. Getting back to this, the 4.0 quake. Last July, actually it was about July 1st, we had a 5.0 magnitude earthquake up here near Katavik, Alaska. Okay, this was right before a 6.3 magnitude earthquake hit here near Queen Charlotte's Island of Alaska, British Columbia. Right here was a 6.3. So we had a 5.0 up here. We had a 6.3 that occurred approximately 24 hours later. And then all hell broke loose down here in Southern California near Ridgecrest, where we had two 6.9s that were downgraded to 6.4s. And then we had a 7.1 magnitude earthquake as well over here in Ridgecrest that caused significant damage out there in the Southern California desert, Ridgecrest and Trona, California. Okay, now what is going on out here? Searles Valley, USGS is recording a 2.6 magnitude earthquake out here in Searles Valley, California, near Ridgecrest. Folks, again, that's not the only earthquake that's out here in Searles Valley. Okay, but like I said, last July 1st, we had a 5.0 up near Katavik, Alaska. Then we had a 6.3 over here off of Queen Charlotte's Island, British Columbia, Canada. Then we had all hell break loose down here in Southern California. Now, I'm not telling you that the same thing is going to happen like that this time. I'm putting you on watch, though, that something is going on. And since USGS is not reporting information, we need to really keep our eyes peeled. We need to keep our eyes peeled. We've already seen significant earthquake activity over in Challis, Idaho, on the western end, or western edge, I should say, of the Yellowstone magma chamber. We still see today earthquakes happening over there. I just clicked on this one that they're showing here at USGS. It says a 3.0, 66 kilometers, about 40 miles east of Cascade, Idaho. Okay. So Challis, Idaho is still rocking and reeling from that earthquake, a 6.7. But a short time before that, 2 weeks before that, we had a 5.7 here in Salt Lake City that rattled nerves and caused millions of dollars in damage. And they're still assessing damage today. So we've had that here. We've already had that here. I'm telling you right now, we have seismic activity locked up here in Alaska. There is a very good, distinct possibility. And again, USGS is not showing all the earthquakes up here in Alaska. There are a lot of earthquakes up here. They're not showing us. I believe earthquake energy is locked up here in Alaska, and we could have a 7.0 earthquake up here in Alaska, possibly hitting either Kobuk or Anchorage, Alaska one more time. Okay? We have that earthquake energy, seismic energy locked up here. We have just as much energy locked up right in this area here between Queen Charlotte's Island and the Juan de Fuca Fault, Vancouver Island, Pacific Northwest, right in here. We also have a lot of seismic activity locked up down here on the southern end of the Cascadia subduction zone. And we have a lot of earthquake seismic energy locked up here in Southern California. Why do I say that? Because we have zero 4s and 5s going across the plate, either at the New Madrid Fault over here in Oklahoma, or over on the old New Madrid Fault down here in Arkansas, Tennessee, Missouri, Kentucky area. And we have nothing going across the United States to the East Coast. Occasionally we'll see a 2.5, 3.0 meandering up and down the coast all the way into Nova Scotia and Quebec, but very little activity going here. If we were seeing 4s and 5s coming across the plate, I would say all this seismic energy on the west coast of the North American continent was not locked up, but it is. We don't see that heavy duty earthquake seismic energy moving east across the plate. That's why I'm saying it's all locked up here. My friends in Los Angeles, you better make sure you have your plans ready. As I told several emergency managers over here in Southern California, you need to be ready. We thought it was actually going to happen by the end of last year, December, January time period. It didn't happen. It's going to happen, folks. It's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. And USGS is not even reporting all the earthquakes that are happening here in California or in Washington and Oregon. They have a complete silent zone here in Washington and Oregon. And I have a lot of information, folks, that says there is activity going here. We have volcanoes that are having steam eruptions as we speak. And I will prove that to you tonight. We have that information for you. And we're going to be talking a lot about Cascadia. We're going to be talking a lot about Cascadia tonight. Up here in southern Canada, right at the Canadian-US border, McGrath, Canada, 35 kilometers south of McGrath, Canada, approximately 20 miles south of McGrath, Canada, we had a 2.6 minor earthquake today. Now this is on the northern, very northern reaches. I don't even know if McGrath is in the Yellowstone magma chamber area, but it's coming close. It's very close to the Yellowstone magma chamber area. But again, USGS is not showing us any information. Now, for those of you that watch Mary Greeley, I suggest you watch her program from earlier today. She has a lot of information there, folks, a lot of pertinent information. And I would highly recommend, after you get through watching tonight's program with me, go over to Mary Greeley and take a look at hers. You need to look at that. It's very important information for those of you that are interested in Yellowstone. Because what happens in Yellowstone is affecting all the rest of us here in the Western United States. Seismic energy moves down and across the United States. The earthquake activity that you're seeing in Yellowstone today is going to affect everybody. Promise. It's happening. Folks, we're going to get us a large earthquake, and it's coming. I have people that know that it's coming that are looking 3 to 5 days, and I'm even looking towards 3 to 5 days at least, and possibly longer. But I'm not ready to make an earthquake warning as of yet. But I'm telling you, it is coming. And when I see more information, I will come back on here, and I'll be on my YouTube channel telling you that it's coming and you need to be ready. And I'm telling you, you need to be ready right now. Okay? I think I've now made that abundantly clear to you. Okay? We have that earthquake I told you about over here in Japan. And now they've taken it down. They're only showing an aftershock. They're only showing an aftershock of 4.5 that was 45 kilometers, approximately, and I'm just saying approximately 30 miles southeast of Ofunato, Japan. Ofunato, Japan. Okay. That's an aftershock. That's just one of many aftershocks. And they're not even reporting hardly anything. It doesn't make sense. We know for a fact. We know for a fact when you get that large of an earthquake, there's going to be aftershocks, and they only report one. And yet we have 2 aftershocks with a 4.0. We know for a fact that there's a lot more than that. Okay. Also over here in the Kuril Islands, south of Kamchatka, Russia, we had another 4.6. So we have this one over here, 4.5 in northern Japan. We have this 4.6 just south of Kamchatka, Russia. And over here in the Aleutian Islands, we have another 4.6. 4.6, 4.7, 4.6. That's got to tell you something. Plus, that 6.4 energy from yesterday, it's going to travel straight up this earthquake fault, this undersea fault. It's going to come up here to Kamchatka, Russia, and there's going to be an earthquake here. And then it's going to travel up here into Alaska again. And we've had numerous earthquakes travel the Aleutian chain. And we have had many 5.0 large earthquakes and above, stronger than that, travel this Aleutian Island chain. And it gets locked up right here. Energy gets locked up right here, and it gets locked up down here. There's going to be a break very, very soon. And I promise you that. Before we leave the USGS map, wow. I wanted to show you this earthquake over in, that just happened over here in Turkmenistan. They had a 4.0 just about 30 minutes ago. That's happened. And now I see we got another earthquake over in Pucallpa, Peru, a 4.7 in Pucallpa, Peru. We just got through seeing a very strong moderate quake in Pucallpa, Peru just about a week ago. And now we have another 4.7 over in Pucallpa, Peru this evening. Over in Argentina near the Chilean border, we have a 4.5 moderate earthquake, approximately 18 miles south-southwest of Vinchina, Argentina. Like I said, it's at the Argentine-Chilean border. We've also seen more activity over here in the Southern Pacific. Near Hihifu Tonga, we've had a 4.7 moderate quake. Yesterday, we had a 5.2 magnitude earthquake over here in Vanuatu. And today we have another, well, it wasn't in Loganville. It was in near another island, but today we've had another 5.2 here. Over here in the Solomon Islands, we've had another 5.2. Over here in Papua New Guinea, we've had a 4.7. Over here in just west of there, again in Papua New Guinea, we had a 4.6, 5.2, 5.2, 4.7, 4.6. What had happened out here in Chichishima, Japan? A 4.5. Over here in South Japan, by the way, this is the Bonin Islands. This one in Chichishima, Japan, is in the Bonin Islands. This one over here in the very south end of Japan, a 4.6. And just north of there, another 4.7. So you can see we've had 4, 2 5s, more 4s, more 4s here, more 4s here, another 4 here, and another 4 here. What does that tell you? Seismic energy is on the move, folks. And we're going to continue to see many, many moderate and even small earthquakes throughout this entire area. And again, people ask, the energy is caused because we have floating plates. We have a ton of subduction activity going on down here in Southeast Asia, in the Southwestern Pacific. A ton of activity. And now we've had another 4.8 over here just off the northern coast of Sumatra, a 4.8, 159 kilometers north-northwest of Mohin, India. Mohin, India. Okay, so there's another earthquake that's happened. Now, I told you that there's been an earthquake up here in Tajikistan of 4.5. South of there, there's a 4.1, also in Afghanistan. And then this one, another 4.4 in Arzak, China. We are getting inundated with 4s all over the Pacific Ring of Fire. All over the Pacific Ring of Fire. Now, we are going to, you should expect, and we're going to have more 4s going across the plate here, and not just here in Iran and Iraq, but it's going to go through Turkey, over here into Greece, and over into Italy, and going over here into Europe. I fully expect to see a 5 in this area around the Middle East. I also expect a 5 over towards Greece, and maybe another 5 possibly over in northern Italy. We have earthquake energy moving throughout the entire world, especially in the Ring of Fire. Now, one other earthquake the USGS has here, and we also have on the EMSC map, is this 4.8 over in Iceland, in southern Iceland. This is 127 kilometers west, northwest of Hofen, Iceland, Hofn, Iceland. Okay, there's a lot of energy here. We've got, USGS has 58 quakes showing on this map. I'm telling you that there's a lot more than that. There's a lot more than that. Let me pull this information here. All right. Let me pull this information here. Actually, that's the wrong one. Okay. Right now, we've had 246 earthquakes, according to Earthquake Tracker. 247 earthquakes, according to Earthquake Tracker. They're moving. They're moving. I expect fully to maybe have 260 by the end of the night. Total 260 earthquakes before the end of the night. Now, I am going to look at one other app that we have here, and we reference it frequently enough, so you should know about it. We go over to the Volcano Discovery app. Go over to the Volcano Discovery app. Let me turn down the light on this so you can see it. We use the Volcano Discovery application on this program as well. Now, this Volcano Discovery app says that we are having right now, or we have had 21,563 earthquakes just this year. 21,565 earthquakes since the beginning of the year. Figures right here at the bottom of the earthquake application at Volcano Discovery. That's a lot. That's a lot. At the end of March, we had just under 20,000, and now we've had 21,000 earthquakes. Why? Because we've had 1,000 earthquakes just in Southern California since, I believe it was March 28th when the earthquakes started hitting Southern California. And here it is, April 20th. Now we've had over 21,000, almost 22,000 earthquakes since the beginning of this year. Where is it going to go? No place but up, because that's what happens. That's what happens. And at this rate, I would not be surprised to see the number of earthquakes by the end of May be at 30,000. Be at 30,000. Why? Because I feel like that's exactly what's going to happen in Southern California. We're going to get a ton of earthquakes in Southern California, not even to include the very strong, possibly 6.2 to 7.0 magnitude earthquake that's about to hit. Okay? It's going to hit. It's a matter of time. And all of you need to be aware of it. You need to do something about it to help yourselves and help those that you love. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. Now, I'm going to quickly change the subject and then come back to Cascadia, because we have some other information that we need to discuss with you. Okay. All right. This information has to do with the coronavirus. Okay. Everybody is expecting to soon go back to work. Everybody is expecting to go back to work. The Trump administration has already said that they're going to open up the United States again come May 1st. There are some states, including the state of Utah, where there are mayors here in Salt Lake City. There's a mayor of the county and the mayor of the city here in Salt Lake that don't want to see this happen until June 1st. There was a protest. There have been several protests all weekend long, from the East Coast to the West Coast. There have been protests, and there have been threatened arrests if people didn't disperse. However, here in Salt Lake City, there was a protest urging the mayors to let loose and let people start going back to work and let people start moving around, conducting their business without messing around with our rights. Rights given to us under the Constitution of the United States and the Bill of Rights. And they violated every damn one of them. They have. All under the guise of the coronavirus. Now, I get that people have died. I completely understand that. And I've watched it. We made mention of it on our show, that people have died here, even in Salt Lake. We've now had 23 deaths here in Salt Lake. 23 deaths here in Salt Lake. But folks, the numbers don't match. The numbers don't match with what they're telling us. They're saying that this is the worst sickness that has ever hit the United States. Ding, 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 ding. Wrong. We had the Spanish flu. It was worse than this. We had the H1N1. It was worse than this. We had more hospitalizations and more people die. 3 years ago, we had a tuberculosis outbreak here in the United States. There were more deaths from that and more people hospitalized with tuberculosis than we have had here in the United States from this. Okay? We have already made note. We've made mental, physical, and verbal notes about certain individuals that were in cahoots about this virus, that have planted HIV into the coronavirus, and that virus is metastasized, mutated, I should say, not metastasized, mutated, and gone all over the place. And it's creating havoc all over the world. Who is responsible? Number one, China. Number two, a professor from one of the East Coast universities that we've also made mention of here on this show. Dr. Fauci, and there's a ton of evidence against him. All you have to do is look at the talk shows, and not just on the alternative media on YouTube. You can go all over and find out this information. Fauci's dead meat. I didn't hear him once in the presidential briefing today. Dr. Birx was there, but Fauci wasn't even be seen. Is this going to be a new development where we will not see Dr. Fauci again? Because he's going to come under indictment Yes, I can see that happening. I can see that happening. But the more and more people that find this out, the more and more protests you're going to see, and people are really going to get pissed. There is talk, and it's a proven fact now, that there was a man here in Salt Lake City that threatened the mayor of Salt Lake City because of the coronavirus. Because he has evidence that we all have as well, but he threatened the mayor because the mayor was wanting to keep the place locked down and for a good long time. And the mayor of both Salt Lake City and Salt Lake County were trying to get the governor to close down the entire state, which did not happen. There are 8 states in the United States that did not close down the state. There were only 14 counties here in Utah that closed down the counties to a certain extent. Nothing like that's happened over in California. I spoke to an attorney over in Reseda, California this morning. He had tried to go to Target to purchase things for his family. The only aisles that were open at Target and Walmart were food aisles. There was no clothing, there was no electronics, there was no home improvement things, no seeds, no gardening, no tools. Everything was locked down in those areas. The only thing that the governor of California was letting people have was food. Sunday, Governor DeSantis in Florida opened up the beaches of northern Florida and urged people to use restraint and stay away from people, 6 feet away from people. Did that happen? Nope, it did not. The beaches were packed. And yet his order clearly stated that the only reason he was opening up the beaches was he was calling them an essential place to be. What kind of essential activity happens at a beach that is a life-saving event at a beach? Other than saving your mind, letting you get out of your house, he's declared a beach a place where you can conduct essential business to stay alive. Fishy, huh? It's not just Democrats, it's Republicans. It's the whole dadgum system that's wrong here. They knowingly violated our rights and we let them do it. These elected officials must pay a price come November. When that election comes up, these people must pay a price. They must be voted out. Put somebody in that's going to do the business of the people, that's not going to let the New World Order, China, or any of the other communists, including Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and all the rest. Every one of these communists must be relieved of duty. The deep state needs to be run out of town on a rail. If not, arrested, taken down to Gitmo, trials held, then each one of them brought back individually to Washington Mall and hung. True story. Let me finish with this article and then we'll go back to Cascadia. The governors of Georgia and Tennessee on Monday afternoon today announced new plans to bring their states' economies closer to full force amid signs that the coronavirus outbreak is slowing down. Governor Brian Kemp said certain businesses, including restaurants, gyms, and hair salons, can reopen beginning this Friday. I'd like to get a haircut. I gave myself a haircut about a week and a half ago. It'd be nice to get it done right. My son, too. Meanwhile, in Tennessee, Governor Bill Lee confirmed his state stay-at-home order, previously extended to April 30th, will end on Friday as well. Trump says a decision is coming shortly on reopening the economy. They had another news conference this afternoon, and it certainly looks like that's exactly what's going to happen. The problems with the coronavirus are abating. They never were as bad as everybody said they were going to be, nor were they as bad as the other viruses that we've had plague this country in the past. Okay? But Kemp said Monday, today, his state would expand the COVID-19 testing and that hospitals were in a position to resume elective surgeries after securing necessary protective personal equipment, PPEs. Okay? These businesses will open according to specific guidance that we will provide in accordance with state and national experts in both medicine and business, according to Governor Lee. Social distancing works, and as we open up our economy, it will be more important than ever that we keep social distancing as lives and livelihoods depend on it. Not like happened over there in the northern Florida beaches where social distancing went out the window, or shall I say out the water. Given the favorable data, enhanced testing, and approval of our healthcare professionals, we will allow gyms, fitness centers, bowling alleys, body art studios, tattoos, barbers, cosmetologists, hair designers, nail care artists, estheticians, and their respective schools and massage therapists to reopen their doors this Friday, Governor Kemp said. Movie theaters in Georgia will be allowed to reopen, and restaurants can resume in-person dining April 27th, WAGA-TV reported. Bars, amusement parks, and nightclubs will remain closed until further notice, according to the governor. By taking this measured action, we will get Georgians back to work safely without undermining the progress we have made in this battle against COVID-19, Kemp said. Today's announcement is a small step forward and should be treated as such. During the weekend, the mayor of Salt Lake City has let us resume going back to parks, as long as we keep 6 feet away from somebody else. True story. That's what's going on. They're gradually letting us do things. But like I said, I talked to this attorney in Los Angeles. He said Target and Walmart, you couldn't do anything but buy food. And that's it. Governor Newsom has clamped down hard. It's communist rule. It's communist rule in the state of California. I hope and pray the movement to remove Newsom goes through, and I hope that we get the 51st state out of the state of California. And Governor Newsom will lose half of his state because of his stupidity and the stupidity of the communists in the state of California. And the same kind of activity is also happening in Colorado, where they mimic everything that California does. And they also have had a lot of people from California move to Colorado to institute that same type of government. And they have that. They have that. And yes, I made statements. I have people in Colorado that disagree with me, and that's fine. Because I don't care if they disagree with me. It's okay. This is still America where we can disagree with each other. We don't have to have the same opinions. But there have been dozens of protests sprouted up in front of state capitals and governor's mansions across the country, with participants in those protests calling for an end to tough restrictions. Okay? And President Trump has even mentioned that it's okay to protest. That it's okay to protest. Anyway, that's my rant on the coronavirus. You all know that I don't agree with what's been going on, and I probably never will agree with them. Because what I think has happened is against the law. They violated our rights, violated the Constitution, and I think certain people should be hung for it. It's called treason. It's called treason. All right, let's get back to earthquakes. I spent 20 minutes on a rant, but I think it had to be said. I think it had to be said. Okay, first off, what are we going to do? We're going to take a look at Mammoth Mountain. Why am I starting down there? Because this is an example of minor earthquake activity happening at Mammoth Mountain, a volcano in central eastern California. And it doesn't matter. Mammoth Mountain doesn't care what Governor Newsom says, it's going to still have activity. Okay? Last night at approximately 21:45 hours, which is 9:45 p.m. last night, there was an earthquake here. You can see the earthquake here. And you can see various times that there have been jolts of magma through the system. Okay, you can see that. You see magma coming through the system. We have another earthquake today at 2:25 p.m. 2:25 p.m. today. This was a real jolt. It's a real jolt. And when we go and look at the earthquakes in California, we're going to see both of those earthquakes that happened over here at Mammoth Mountain. Mammoth is just not a resort. It's also a volcano, an active volcano. And there was a volcanic event there just a few years ago where it happened in the winter and people said, oh, it's just an avalanche. Really? Just an avalanche when there's magma involved? But nobody wants to take it into an event where there's magma coming down a slope. It injured some people. But they're only saying, oh, avalanche. Okay, that's Mammoth Mountain. Okay, let's go look into the Pacific Northwest. I'm going to show you these seismograms first. This is Mount Rainier, and you can see what's happening right this minute at Mount Rainier. We have magma infill going on at Mount Rainier. This very minute, you can see it. We started this program at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Mountain time. You can see 5 p.m. here. You can see it all the way across the graph here. And you can see it continuing. It's only 5:56, and you can see the magma continuing. Let's look at what happened earlier today and then last night. Look at this, folks. Not only do we have magma coming into the system, heavy duty coming in the system, look at the venting going on. We have major steam eruptions happening at Mount Rainier. Major steam eruptions at Mount Rainier. You can't deny what's going on. They can't deny it. Up at Mount Rainier, or the National Park Service has got to be inundated with phone calls going, what is going on? And I better not hear them say, oh, that's snow blowing off the top of the mountain. Afraid not, guys. Your own equipment says otherwise. We're having a steam eruption at Mount Rainier, and you can see it. Look at the heavy duty impulses going on, showing magma moving through the system earlier today, earlier this afternoon, and late this morning. You can still see the steam eruptions going on. The little curlicues and the spikes, they're still going on right now. And I showed you these yesterday. The same thing was going on. Okay, let's go back one more day. I can show you. This has been going on for quite some time. The magma is continuing to go through the system into the volcano, and you can see the steam eruptions continuing. These are major steam eruption events at Mount Rainier. Let's continue this. It's not over, folks. It's not over till the fat lady sings. This is Mount Baker right now. Again, this graph starts at 5 p.m. Pacific time, the same time we came on tonight. Let's go back and see what happened earlier today. This is last night. Look, this happened last night. There's steam events at Mount Baker as well. Steam events and magma coming into the system. It's not quite as major steam event as we're seeing at Mount Rainier, but we're still seeing steam eruption at Mount Baker. It's not ended there yet. Let's go over to Mount St. Helens. We don't see quite the magma activity as we've seen at Mount St. Helens or Mount Rainier and over at Mount Baker, but we're still seeing magma coming in. Not quite as pronounced. Let's look at the rest of the day today. And again, disregard this blooping signal. It's on almost every seismogram that's around. So disregard that. We have a steam event happening at Mount St. Helens. There's a squiggly line. There's a squiggly line. We're going to see some more too. But we still see light magma coming into the system. We're not done yet. Let's go over to Mount Hood. This is what's going on right now at Mount Hood. Light magma, heavier than at St. Helens. Okay, let's go back. Last night, today. Again, disregard that squiggly thing. Doesn't mean a darn thing here. You can see magma coming into the system. Magma is still coming in the system. Not as heavy as Mount St. Helens. Well, it's a little heavier than St. Helens. It's less heavy than Mount Rainier or Mount Baker. Okay, this is Mount Hood. Okay, we're not done here. Not by a long shot. Let's go back here. I want to show you Clear Lake volcano. Oh, come on. Okay, let's go see Clear Lake volcano. Not Clear Lake, Crater Lake. They're not showing it. Come on, Pacific Northwest Seismic Network. You said none of your machines are down. Crater Lake. Where is it, guys? Where's Crater Lake? They don't want to show us. Let's go back a day and see if they're going to show us. Bingo. They turned it off. Yesterday afternoon, they turned off Crater Lake. We turned off Crater Lake. Okay. And that's been going on a long time, folks. That's just yesterday. Okay, let's go back here and take a look at some other volcanoes. Let you look at some other things and see what you think. Let's go over to Salem, Oregon. Okay. Okay. Let's go over to Salem, Oregon. Whoa. What do we have happening here in Salem, Oregon? I know what's going on. I just want to show you this. That was tonight so far. This is what it's been looking like for a week now. Heavy duty magma infill coming on at 8 o'clock this morning, Pacific time. Pacific time, Salem, Oregon. But these blips that you see here, this has been going on for a week. For a week. But heavy duty magma infill going on over near Salem, Oregon. Okay, let's take a look at something else here. Let's go over to Falls City, Oregon. Let's go over to Falls City, Oregon. Falls City High School, Falls City, Oregon. That's where this seismic instrument's located. See this? There's magma infill going on over there too. There's magma infill going on there too. Let's go back a few more hours and see what happened earlier today and last night. Look at this, folks. We've got some earthquakes here, 2 of them. And we have, it appears that we have some steam. There's some spikes here. And there's a curlicue here. So Falls City. Okay, we have some magma beneath the surface there. Interesting, huh? And this has been going on for a while now. This is the day before that. Interesting, huh? It's been going on that way for a while. Let's go over to Ewing. Ewing Young, Newberry Crater, Newberry, Oregon. Let's take a look at that. I thought you ought to be seeing this. I've been looking at this for quite some time. Look at this. This is just since we've been on the air. Ewing Young, Newberg, Oregon. Light magma coming in here, and then it intensifies earlier this morning. About 7:15 this morning, it started intensifying. Okay, that's what's today and last night. Let's go back another day. Look at this. I see there's a lot of magma coming in through there. Not quite as heavy as we're seeing at Mount St. Helens, but it's quite heavy. Let's go take a look at someplace else. And this has been happening for a good long time. Let's go over to Portland. Let's go over to Portland, Oregon. My friends in Oregon, you're going to be surprised. Look at this. This is over Portland since we've been on the air. What do you think of that? What do you think of that? There's been magma coming into this system for some time. Let's go back again one day. It's continuing, isn't it? It's not just a fluke. Day before yesterday. Let's go back even another day. See, it's continuing, folks. This has been going on for quite some time. And this is in Portland. Okay, let's go back here. Okay, let's take a look at Elsie, Oregon. Elsie, Oregon. Look at this. Now this big one is a fluke. Don't pay attention to that big signature. Doesn't mean anything at this point. Look at this. We have a lot of magma going in Elsie, Oregon. Now, can you understand why I'm saying that we're going to have an event in the Pacific Northwest? This is just an example. What I'm showing you right now is an example of what is going on. Okay, let's go back another one. Let's go over to Clatsop County, Warrenton, Oregon. Warrenton, Oregon, Clatsop County. We have magma coming into this system here. Clatsop County. Look at this, folks. Have I made my point? And this is just Oregon. This is just Oregon. Let's go back another day so you can see the day before that. Look at this. Heavy duty magma infill coming into this area, Clatsop County, Warrenton, Oregon. And this is over near the coast. That's over near the coast. Let's go take a look at a few more spots here. Let's go look at Ellensburg, Eastern Washington. Okay, Ellensburg, Eastern Washington. Look at that. This is just this evening, folks. We're an hour and 15 minutes into the program. This is last night and today. Last night and today. Eastern Washington, Ellensburg, Eastern Washington. Do we have something to be worried about here? Hey, Dorothy, good to see you. Sharon, Susie, everybody. Do we have something to be worried about here? Yeah, it's out in the middle of nowhere, Scooter Pie. Sharon's good to see you. Welcome. Both of our Sharons, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you both for being here. Okay, we're not through yet, folks. We're not through it all at all. That's out in the middle of nowhere, Ellensburg, Washington. Let's go look at something else here. Magma on the move. Magma that's on the move. Let's look at Chrisman Ranch. Chrisman, Washington. Chrisman Ranch. Looks like we have some activity there, don't we? This has been heavier. Look at this. Chrisman Ranch, Washington. Chrisman Ranch, Washington. And this has been going on for some time. Look at the day before. Let's go down the day before that. Earthquake there, an earthquake there, earthquake here, magma coming into the system. Chrisman Ranch, Washington. Let's go take a look one other place here. I'm going to surprise you with this one. I'm looking at between 50 and 100 seismos every day, sometimes more. This is Glacier Peak. There's some magma coming in there. We've got an earthquake there. We've got a small disturbance and a small quake, a minor quake there. This is probably 1.7 to a 2.0 earthquake here. Look at the magma coming in here. Okay. This is earlier today. This earthquake happened about 4:10 this morning. Okay. This is at Glacier Peak. Glacier Peak. Let's see if we might find something else here. Let's look at Patterson, Washington. Let's go to Patterson, Washington. Okay, come on. Why did it just disappear? Okay. PAT2. Let's go over to Patterson, Washington. There's some magma, not very heavy. But look at this. This was last night into today. This is this afternoon. Now you folks know why I'm worried. You now know why I'm very, very concerned. I wanted to show you what is going on. I hope I made my point, because there is a lot of stuff going on. And USGS can't hide it. PNSN can't hide it. We found it. We found it. None of this can be hid. Anybody that wants to know what's going on can find it. Crater Lake was visible earlier today, and PNSN has taken it down. Okay, granted, Crater Lake has been taken down, but you saw the rest. Now, there have been other seismograms that have been taken down before. They're up right now, and I showed them to you. There are a lot more. There are a lot more than that. You can go to this map just like I did. You can find this map, okay? It's very easy to find. Go to the PNSN website, click on seismograms, and click map. It'll take you to this map. And then you can click on whatever volcano you want here and find out what's going on. Some of these volcanoes are extinct, or what they believe are extinct, but there's still some activity going on. And you can find this out anytime you want. The volcanoes are getting hit. You saw what is going on all over the Pacific Northwest. I specifically did that so you could see everything, because USGS is hiding it. Oh, I'm sorry you didn't see me. Let me bring it back, this map. I'll show it to you again. Okay, you go over to the PNSN website, click on seismograms, click on map, and that's all it takes to bring up these maps, bring up these volcanoes. And you can click on whatever volcano you want. Okay? You can click on whatever volcano you want. This is in Polyp River. Guess what? Image not found. They don't want us to see it. Like I said, Crater Lake, there was a lot of stuff going on the other day, and now it's hidden again. Let's go to this one. This is South Mountain. Okay. I just randomly selected this. South Mountain. You can see that there's some magma infill going on here. Let's go check out what has been happening the rest of the day. We still have magma infill going on here. Not as heavy as we've seen at the other places, but you can still see it. You can still see it. Okay, that's how you do that. That's how you do this. You can click on whatever mountaintop that you want and find out any information about it. Okay, I'm just going to click on this one. WAT2, Waterville, Washington. Look at this. Again, it is 7:23 p.m. Mountain Time, 6:23 p.m. Pacific. Okay, let's go back earlier today and last night. It was quiet last night, or supposedly quiet, doesn't show much of anything. And then all of a sudden, this morning and this afternoon, we see magma infill. We see magma infill going on. Okay, I just randomly hit those places and I show you what's going on. You need to know what's going on, folks. You need to know what's going on. Now, this isn't the only thing I'm going to show you. It's not the only thing I'm going to show you. Okay, this is over at Berkeley, Northern California Earthquake Data Center, ncedc.org, BDN or BDSN, not BDN, BDSN, quicklook.html, current seismograms for Northern California. Okay. The names are underneath the seismogram. This is Berkeley. Look at what's going on at Berkeley. There's seismic activity. There's magma coming in through that system as well. That's Berkeley. Here's Humboldt County. You can see what's going on there. Okay, what's going on here at Berkeley? Again, more seismic activity. There's magma coming in there. Marina, California. This is over east of Fresno. Marina, California. Look at the magma coming into the system there. Parlier, California. This is southeast of Fresno. Magma coming into the system there. Okay. Now they're not showing anything at Big Sur today. I don't know why the seismogram is down there. Okay. Exeter, California, very little activity. Look at Mendocino, California. Mendocino, California. This is east of the Gorda Escarpment. Remember those earthquakes that we showed you? There were 3 earthquakes just off the coast from Petrolia, California. This is east of there. You see the magma coming in? You can see it. It's plain as day. The Mendocino Ridge is hot right now. Mendocino Ridge is hot. Look over here at Oakville, California, the same thing there. Big Pine. Big Pine. North and east of Little Pine. Okay. Mojave Desert. Okay. Petrolia, California, where our earthquakes have hit. And we're going to go there. We're going to go over to the EMSC map in just a minute, where I'm going to show you this on the map. Okay. Magma coming in there at Petrolia. Not as much as Mendocino Hills, but it's there. Davis, California, you see magma coming in there. Covello, California. Hollister, you see some activity happening here in Hollister, which is south. Hollister is south of San Francisco. Okay. Here is Twitchell Island. There's Twitchell Island, folks. San Francisco. Big time magma activity happening at Twitchell Island. What do you think about that? Here's Fresno, folks. Look at this. I think we had something happen at about 4 o'clock, 4:10, 4:30, something like that. That's over by Fresno. Halifax, California. Halifax, California. Look at this. There's magma coming into that system. Okay, let's go over here and look. Okay, Halifax, California. Okay, remember where Coalinga, California is? Over off the coast, just west of Interstate 5, Coalinga. That's not where they bring or they get coal out of the ground. That's where they brought coal. Okay, it's a small town in California there. Okay, and it's south of San Francisco too. Okay, but this place is where that activity is going on right now. This is Calflax, I'm sorry, Calflax, California. Okay, this is northeast of Coalinga. Okay, Pfeiffer Big Sur State Park, northeast of Big Sur. Okay, northeast of Interstate 5, Coalinga area. Southwest of Fresno. Okay, and we have magma activity hitting there. Have I made my point yet? I hope I made my point. There's a lot of activity, folks, and we need to start taking it seriously, very seriously. Okay, let me bring up the EMSC map so you can see what's going on. It's interesting. I was going to bring up the EMSC map, and all of a sudden there was a there was an article about a boulder that was about a 6-inch size boulder, about that big, that came through the window, or it hit one car, bounced off the roadway and hit a semi, and almost came through the window of a semi. Big boulder. Don't know why. It was on Interstate 15, nowhere near a hillside. So the boulder came from someplace. Okay. Just for those of you who might be interested, Friday night, Saturday morning, a young couple was in their home in West Jordan, Utah, which is south of here. Excuse me, it's not south here. It's west and north of here, West Jordan. And this couple, I'm going to go back here. In fact,
your help to find this man. ABC4's Rick Aaron live at the West Jordan Police Department with all the details. Rick?
Emily, this was a shocking crime that has left residents of this community shaken. Mr. and Mrs. Butterfield were found shot to death at their home around 1:15 on Saturday morning while their 3 young children under the age of 4 were sleeping upstairs. Now police are seeking this man, 31-year-old Albert Enoch Johnson. He's described as a man of Pacific Islander ethnicity, 5 feet 10 inches tall, 270 pounds. They say he's driving a 2008 dark gray Toyota Corolla with black wheels and the Utah license plate B464MW. They also say he may have knife wounds on his arms or legs from his encounter with the Butterfields. Police say he was an intruder at their house, but he was not a stranger.
Mr. Johnson was known to the Butterfields. This was not a random act. We do believe that it was a targeted act of violence and an isolated act. He did know them. We are investigating and working on the motivations for why he might have done this horrific crime.
Sergeant Holt would not elaborate on the nature of the relationship between Mr. Johnson and the Butterfields or a possible motive, but wanted people to know that if you have seen Mr. Johnson or might know where he is, to give West Jordan Police Dispatch a call. Their number 801-840-4000. As for those 3 kids ranging in ages from 4 years old to 6 months old, Sergeant Holt says they are in the care of relatives this evening.
there's the man that police are looking for.
ABC4 News.
All right, we do want to have you take a good look at the suspect we just showed you there at the very end of that, if you know anything about where he is.
Okay, there is a suspect. They're still looking for this man. He killed a young couple and left their 3 small children home or parentless. Okay, that's what happened just here in Salt Lake, West Jordan, Utah. Not far from me, maybe 5 miles from me. It's a sad day to think that somebody's home would get broken into. Somebody's home gets broken into. It's just a sad day. Anyway, let's go over here. And I've got the chat room up too. We can go here and chat too. Want to welcome Negotiator here as well. Thank you for being here. Robbins, good to see you. Yes, scumbags. It is heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking. 2 young parents, 3 young children without their parents for the rest of their lives. Negotiator, I hope they've got you on blood thinners. I'm so sorry that you're having to go through all this stuff. Blood clots. I've been there 2 years ago. I've been there 2 years ago. Unreal. I'm on blood thinner too. Negotiator, take care of yourself, brother. I appreciate it. I love you. Appreciate all you do for all of us and for me. For those of you that know Negotiator here, he and I go way back. We go way, way back. We'll keep you in our prayers, brother. Keep everybody in our prayers. Yeah, that knocks the wind out of me too. There's so much heartbreak in this world. There really is. Anyway, I wanted to show you that. Here is the picture of that gentleman again. If any of you here in the Salt Lake City area or surrounding areas, if you have any information on this man, give West Jordan Police a call. His name is Albert Enoch Johnson. Albert, Enoch, Enoch, Johnson, Johnsson. He is 5'10", 270 pounds. If you have any information, call the West Jordan Police at 801-840-4000. Again, 801-840-4000. That's the information on this bozo. We want to thank ABC4 News here in Salt Lake City for bringing that information to us. Also this morning, over near West Valley, Utah, a ladder came off a truck and led to a fatal crash. Killed the occupant driver of this vehicle here in Salt Lake City. Ladder fell off a vehicle onto Salt Lake Highway and got into this van and killed the driver. Very sad, sad, sad day. Okay, let's go back to earthquakes. We don't usually talk about homicides necessarily. We talked about a little bit about homicides yesterday in regards to that killer in Canada, up in northeastern Canada. Just a very, very sad day. Also, just so you know, we went 2 days without earthquakes here in Salt Lake City. They're back. They're back. 9+ earthquakes today. Let me just show you real quick. 9+ earthquakes today. Okay. 2.69. Excuse me. 2.69 near the epicenter of that 5.7. The epicenter of that 5.7 is right here. This is just west of there. 2.69 today. 1.46. 2.01. 1.35, 1.04, 0.48, and then the earthquakes keep traveling west. Okay, 2 more earthquakes over towards downtown Salt Lake City, a 2.37 and a 0.95. There's a 0.95, the 2.37 was just northeast of there. Okay. But they keep trying to move west towards the ever-present Wasatch Mountains. Okay, epicenter was over here, and the earthquakes keep moving west. Okay, just so you know, 9 more earthquakes here in Salt Lake City today. Also, southeast of there, East Carbon City, Utah, a 1.87 magnitude quake there today. East Carbon City. Negotiator, if you want to talk after the program, I'd be happy to talk to you. Would love to talk to you. He's a very dear friend of ours, very, very dear friend of mine. Okay, let's go back up to the Pacific Northwest. Northwest of Mount Rainier, Carbonado, Washington, a 0.22 earthquake. Northwest of Mount Rainier. Then we go down to Mount St. Helens. Mount St. Helens, an earthquake right at the summit, Mount St. Helens, 0.11 right at the summit, right in the middle of the crater. Right at the middle of the crater, Mount St. Helens. Okay. Now that, folks, is all that they have. They're not reporting anything else here. We showed you everything else that's going on. Yeah, we showed you everything else that's going on there. They're not reporting. Folks, Look at the earthquakes. We have 2 earthquakes in Challis, Idaho. A 3.0, and just south of that, a 2.5. This is at the western end of the Yellowstone magma chamber. Remember where the 6.7 was? Right here. And only 2 earthquakes. Remember what happened in Salt Lake City, where they got rid of all the earthquakes for 2 days? And then all of a sudden we got earthquakes? It's happening. Only 2 earthquakes over near Challis, Idaho. Look at what's happened in the Yellowstone magma chamber. Up in northern or actually up in Canada, right across the border from Montana. Here's a 2.6. We told you about that. The 2.6 over in Alberta, Canada. Del Bonita, Alberta, Canada, 2.6. South of there in the Yellowstone magma chamber, Polson, Montana, minus 0.44 above sea level. Okay. South of there, Lincoln, Montana, 1.09. Over in West Yellowstone, 2.06 today. 0.12 in West Yellowstone. East of there, Old Faithful Geyser, 42 miles east northeast of Old Faithful Geyser. We have a 1.80. Just south of that, a 1.57. Doggone it. 1.57. Okay. Then we have the 9 earthquakes in Salt Lake, 1 in East Carbon City. And then the rest happened here in California. Okay. We still have an earthquake over Petrolia, California. This is a 1.99 magnitude quake. 1.99 magnitude quake right here, Petrolia, California. The Gorda Escarpment is right there. South of there, north of the geysers, Redwood Valley, we have a 2.09. 2.09 here. Then we have the geysers here. Again, a geothermal power plant there. They drilled into the Clear Lake volcano to get steam to power the turbines to generate electricity for 4 electrical companies, one of them being Pacific Gas and Electric. Okay. Let's go down to Benicia, California, 1.99. Let's go over to the San Andreas Fault, right next to the shoreline, a 0.87 magnitude earthquake near Portola Valley, California. Portola Valley, California, north of the Bay Area, just north of the Bay Area. Here's Monterey Bay. Let's take a look at this. San Juan Bautista, California, a 2.36 magnitude earthquake. What's on down further south? The Pinnacles, a 1.77. 1.77 at the Pinnacles. Folks, Coalinga, California is right here. That's where we saw all that magma activity. Coalinga, California. Okay. South of the Pinnacles, New Hydra, California, 1.86. New Hydra and the Pinnacles here. It's a volcanic area and there's oil and gas drilling going on there. Okay. Now, what do we have going on up here? Remember we talked about Portola, California? a 0.20. I'm sorry. Portola, California, 0.20. North of Lake Tahoe here. Got magma activity there, don't we? Let's go down to Incline Village, Nevada, 0.6. That's over near Carson. Carson is right here too. Okay. Here we go. Here's Carson City at 0.2 and a 0.4. Carson City. Then what do? We go down to Bridgeport, California. We saw magma there, 1.20 Bridgeport. Then we come down here to Bodie, California. Bodie, California. We had a 5.1 here about 2 weeks ago. We're still seeing earthquakes. And again, I think this was a lot stronger than a 5.1. 5.1 doesn't generate this kind of activity 2 weeks later. A 2.39 Bodie, California. 2.39 and a 2.04. 2 earthquakes in Bodie. 2.39, 2.04. Further south, 2.82, 1.98, 0.44, 1.85, 1.60, and it goes on. That swarm of earthquakes, folks. Bodie, California, after a 5.1. Okay. And we have another volcano right there, Mono Lake. Mono Lake. South of there, what do we have? There's our other volcano, Mammoth Mountain. Okay, Mammoth Mountain, 1.08, 1.53, 0.8, 1.73, 2.11, Mammoth Mountain, folks. Quite a few minor earthquakes there, Mammoth Mountain. Then we drop down to where? Olancha, California, 1.19, 65 miles north of Ridgecrest. Then we have Cozo Junction below that, south of that. We have 3 earthquakes there, a 1.10, 0.82, and a 1.62. Cozo Junction also getting hit. Cozo Junction is a volcano. South of there, Little Lake. Remember Big Lake? Here's Little Lake. Okay, Little Lake, California. There's a swarm of earthquakes. Little Lake. Swarm of earthquakes there. We drop down to Ridgecrest. 1.27 at Ridgecrest. Sorry, it disappeared. 1.27 at Ridgecrest. And then a bunch of other earthquakes here too. 2.03, 0.88, 0.43. Searles Valley Ridgecrest area. It hasn't stopped. It hasn't stopped at all. Now we still have earthquakes down south of there. Can you even guess where it is? More earthquakes in Searles Valley. Small swarm there. 2.57, matter of fact. Here's a 2.57 Searles Valley. That happened at 27 minutes after 5 p.m. 5:27 p.m. Mountain Time. Trona, California, 1.05. Doggone it. 1.05 in Trona, California. And the beat goes on. We go further down into Southern California to Riverside County. What do we have at Riverside County? The Anza Gap. Devore, California, 1.66. Fontana, 0.95. Loma Linda, Glen Avon, getting hit today. Further south, Cabazon, 0.89. We're getting into the Anza Gap. Look at the earthquakes. Okay, we have a 5.1 down there, and they're getting hit almost 3 weeks later, like this. It's all over the place, folks. They're still getting large swarms in the Anza Borrego State Park. Large swarms in the Anza Borrego Desert. Okay. Large swarms of earthquakes happening. It's not abating. It's not abating. Julian, California. 3 earthquakes in Julian, California today. 1.16, 1.01, and 0.66. That's in Julian. Lake Henshaw, my fishing spot east of Escondido, is 0.82. 0.82. And that's all in San Diego. Okay. The beat goes on. Ocotillo, California, getting hit. The swarms go all the way down to the Salton Sea. The Salton Sea. Oasis, 0.84. Oasis, California, just west of the Salton Sea. It's a hot place at the Oasis. Salton City, we mentioned this before. Salton City getting hit. Okay, Salton City, 0.84. Ocotillo Wells getting hit twice, 1.92 and 1.98. And then the Salton City getting hit just east of there. Okay. Then let's go over to Nyland, California, over on the southeast corner of the Salton Sea, right next to the Salton Butte volcano, which is right here. Nyland, California, getting hit with a 1.38 magnitude quake. While it's a minor quake, it's all part of all of this going on there. It looks like it's building up, folks. And if I'm correct, that earthquake I've been talking about is going to happen. Okay? We need to keep an eye on the ball. Okay? We're seeing earthquake activity hitting Southern California over by Imperial County and San Diego. We're seeing it up in Riverside County. We're seeing it up in the Mojave Desert. We're seeing it up near San Francisco. We're seeing it up in the Pacific Northwest. It's happening. We've shown you the magma that's going through that area. We've shown you the earthquakes that have been hitting up in Alaska. Let me go back there. Actually, we didn't show you too many. We showed you what USGS wanted you to see. Look at this, folks. This is Alaska. That's Alaska. Okay. We told you about Katavik, Alaska. Look what's going on up and around the peninsula there. Mount Redoubt volcano. 1.60. 1.60 Mount Redoubt got hit among everything else. Guess what else? What else is right dead center in the middle of Denali National Park? Mount McKinley. Mount McKinley. It's unreal. 1.40 at Mount McKinley. 1.40 at Mount McKinley. And it wasn't the only place. All over Denali, east and west of Mount McKinley, it got hit. And yes, they were minor quakes, but it's a swarm. It's a swarm, folks. And they continued up north of there. Look at that. Up north of there, the swarm continues. 1.6 at Fairbanks. 1.6 at Fairbanks. Tanana, Alaska, 1.3. East of Fairbanks, 1.2, Manly Hot Springs. Okay, we talked about Kobuk, Alaska. It's been getting hit. We have 7 earthquakes at Kobuk, Alaska today. Okay, Kobuk, Alaska. Okay, we've had 1.2, 1.4. Okay, we have times and signs here. Times and signs, welcome to the Emergency Management Associates Program. You're live on the air. I guess she's not. Rest in peace, my friend, negotiator. Sleep well. Sleep well. Anyway, Kobuk, Alaska got hit. 7 quakes there. But I spoke about Katavik, Alaska. We have 3 earthquakes in Katavik, Alaska. Okay, one of which was a 4-pointer. Here's a 4.0 at Katavik. Okay, 4.0. South of there, 3.8 and a 2.5. Okay, hold on a second. We have someone who wants to join us. Hello, hello, welcome. Welcome, this is Ron. You're live on the air.
Well, hello, Ron Tyler. This is Times and Signs.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Okay, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You're live on the air.
All right, this is Times and Signs there, Ron.
Yes.
And we're all concerned about you getting fluids down here because you're starting to look drained.
Really? I'm drinking.
Yep. You drinking water?
Mm-hmm. I'm drinking
okay,
water.
I want to see it. I want to see it more on the screen so that I know you're not dehydrated.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. I appreciate it though. Thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. We're all concerned to make sure that you stay healthy.
You bet. We're concerned about Negotiator too. God bless him.
What's wrong with the Negotiator?
He's got blood clot problems.
Oh no, we need to pray for him, everybody.
Yes, we do. We do. Anyway, thank you for calling. We really appreciate it.
Oh, well, God bless you too, brother.
All right. Be safe, sis. Love you.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye. That was Times and Signs, everyone. Thank her for calling us tonight. Okay, guys, we've shown you the information. We've shown you the information. We hope that you can use that now. We hope that you will know what's going on. This is not going to be pretty, folks. If what we believe is going to happen happens, that whole area from Anchorage, well, not even Anchorage, all from someplace up in above Anchorage, even north of Anchorage, can get hit with a 7.0. We fully expect, again, I'm going to say it again, we fully expect a 6.2 to a 7.0 magnitude earthquake to hit the Pacific Northwest, San Francisco, and or San Diego, Imperial Valley. Okay, around the Anza Borrego Desert area. So folks, we're going to issue a warning very soon, I believe. Okay, you guys hang in there. Folks, we need to pray for each other. Our dear friend Negotiator, okay? Let's pray for everybody. We love you. We miss you when we're not together. We ask a prayer for everybody. We ask a prayer on this world and a prayer on this United States of America and every country. Heal our world, heal our country, and save our country. God bless you. Do know that we love you. As Walter Cronkite would say, that's the way it is. Tonight, Monday, April 20th, 2020. For Emergency Management Associates, this is Ron Tyler. Have a good evening, folks. Good night, everybody. Thanks for coming in and seeing us. If anything else happens tonight, we'll be back on the air as soon as it comes in. See you soon.